One of the largest Bionicle sets ever made. The Scorpio XV1 is a behemoth and a beauty. Let's talk about all the brilliant things that are packed into one of my favorite Bionicle sets, and we'll discuss how you can use the pieces that come in this set in your own LEGO creations. Let's jump in. There's something so special about this set. This colossal, huge, gigantic spider-like machine with a cool rider inside, phenomenal. Man, I wanted this set as a kid so bad when I first saw it, but I couldn't afford it back in the day. But now that I'm an adult with responsibilities and money, I can throw away those responsibilities and spend far too much money and buy this beautiful set. And as an adult, building it, posing it, playing with it, I feel the same kind of nostalgic elation that I would have felt if I had this back in the day. Cause hey, there's something so magical about buying the big toy. The largest one, the cool one, the one that you looked at and went, oh, I'll never be able to have that, it's too expensive. I thought I wouldn't feel that same childlike glee owning this today. I thought my mind would be like, where are you gonna put it, Ben? There's not enough space on your shelf. Or I'd feel guilty for spending too much money. Nope, all those adult thoughts left my mind, and all I thought was, heck yeah, giant spider mech. It's just so impressive, and it's unlike any Bionicle set ever. Now, the Bionicle Wiki states that this is the largest Bionicle set ever produced from a pieces perspective, and it was also the most expensive Bionicle set ever made. And all those things certainly add to the coolness factor of what this is. Now, the pieces that come in this set, they're also pretty great, especially since you get so many pieces, and also a lot of pieces in huge quantities. For example, you get heaps of these ratchet joint pieces, 16 of them in total. These pieces help with the articulation of this mech. They have really powerful and strong connections, and without them, this set just wouldn't function. Shadowgear 6335 uses these on a Titan mock of his own, and if we highlight some of the areas here where these pieces have been used, we can see there's actually a fair few of them in action here. They are the perfect pieces to use on a larger Titan build like this, so next time you build one, consider adding some of these in any places that you want to be like sturdy and posable. The solid click that you get when you rotate these pieces, it really locks things in place, and they can support quite a lot of heavy weight, which is something you have to start worrying about when you build a big build like this. Shadowgear also uses some of these on a smaller mock called Guardian. We can see one on the waist here. It's a good way to get a little bit of torso articulation in there. So honestly, no matter the size, these are very, very helpful pieces. Now, something that's also nice about these joints is that they help this set with its unique play feature. The Scorpio XV1 has this awesome spider form. We love it. But if you push the legs together and bend them at the knee, then it transforms into its tank mode. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Anything that transforms is instantly 100% cooler. The treads work well on both of these different forms, and they do have a nice degree of movement, so you can really push it along and play with it. And yeah, these tread pieces that you get in this set, you get a total of 96 of them. Now let's say you didn't want to use them in the context of a larger machine or vehicle. Well, you could use them like Muhammad Mari has done here on his mock, the Great Shogun. This samurai armor on this mock, it's sensational. When we take a look at this waist area, we can see some of these tread pieces have been used here, but they've also been decorated with all sorts of different system pieces. Yeah, that way it ties in with the rest of the armor that's all over this mock. Now, not only is that just a wonderful design, it's also super accurate to actual samurai armor. And since these tread pieces move and flex, the mock should be able to pose and move with a pretty good amount of ease because the armor's going to move with it. It's not going to get in the way and stop the legs from moving. Yeah, dude, these tread pieces, good stuff. The set also comes with all kinds of different Technic pins and axles. So freaking many of them. There's 25 blue Technic axles, 26 of these red pins, 56 of these 3 long blue Technic pins, and 98 black Technic pins. And hey, there's heaps more that I didn't even showcase in this image. But look, if you need axles and pins, this set comes with plenty of them. I mean, these have uses across all different kinds of things. You can use them to connect literally everything on a mock. You kind of can't build a Bionicle without these pieces. I mean, for example, if you want to build a frame design for your mock, much like Kelvin Lowe did here, you'll need axles and pins. You can see heaps of them just from looking at this image. And frames like this, they're the basis for many different kinds of Bionicle creations. So hey, if you're taking this set apart, you got a treasure trove of axles and pins. Looking at the internal structure of the Scorpio XV1, you can see all different kinds of pistons and Technic beams. Sometimes this set feels a bit more like a Technic set than it does a Bionicle set, but I kind of love that. Now, like I said, there's all kinds of nice Technic beams in this set. Some in black, but you also get some in red as well. Let's highlight a few different ways that you could use pieces like these ones. Jafer's incredible Plague Mech uses these lift arm pieces in some pretty great ways. Let's highlight a few of them here. This way you can see where they're being used. But yeah, these lift arms, they form the basic structure of these legs, and it helps give them this nice curve towards the top as well. We can see that Jafer has built off of these lift arms, adding greebles and details all over them, and even sometimes wrapping some tires around the lift arm. Yeah, this creepy spider-like design of this creature, it just wouldn't be possible if these pieces weren't being used to form a really strong frame and structure. Man, this mock is beautiful, isn't it? Cameron has a silly but very clever little build here called Right. This is meant to be a kind of sentient shear press, this machine. But, you know, now it has legs and eyes. So some of these black lift arms are used here to create this flat surface around the mouth area on this creation. And, you know, this area looks very accurate to the source material. And, you know, if you need a really flat surface on your mock, these pieces, they work wonders. So those two mocks, they use these flat lift arms, but some of these angled lift arms, well, let's talk about them now. Joxon has a build here which is a very unique take on a Paraka, and this one uses this style of lift arms but in purple. Let's highlight where they are. So some form this kind of like mustache design on their head, others are used here for the blaster acting like a kind of grip or a handle where it can be held, and some make up more of this leg design. It's really nice to see this piece having so many different uses on the one creation. Hey, this really is a great design, and a very helpful little piece, isn't it? Gigamesh Mox reimagines the Cainra Rahi, and we can see some of these angled lift arms in a lot of different places. Some of them form the jaw, as well as the top of the face. Others form this cool rib cage, and others form like structural details on the chest. I like that. These can be either structural details that you barely notice, but they're very important to the mock. Others can be a lot more like obvious, like the ones on the rib cage, for example. And that's something else that's cool here. A lot of those older Rahi, they use a lot of these lift arms, but they would leave them exposed and unarmored. And doing that gave both the sets and this mock this really fun retro vibe. It just feels so classic Lego. And I love that. These pieces are just great. Let's quickly change gears and take a look at the dude riding this machine. Their name is Tellurus. So their arm design, it is a little bit strange. The way it bends out like that on the lower arms does look a bit odd. But hey, a unique body design is nice every now and then. All humans are built differently, Bionicle characters can be as well. I do like this mask though. It has this great look on one side, but then on the other side, there's another mask. You can actually find this exact same mask in a marbled green color on the Baroness V7. And this mask is being used the other way. Now here's a mock by Galaxus that uses this mask the other way around. Now the sides of this mask have this great evil flair to them. And this mock having the digitigrade legs, which is the kind of thing you often see on like demons and devils, it complements the mask very well. So maybe use this mask on your next villain character. It would look pretty good. This character also comes with these very nice textured Keytorange armor pieces. Now these only appear in this color in this set, which is pretty cool. Heading back to the vehicle now. You get lots of different types of Technic panel pieces in red. Some of the smaller ones, the panels you can see here on the right, they've been used in a mock like this one. This is another older build from Galaxus, and he's included that piece here for some nice shoulder armor. I think it's a nice design, and the smoothness of this piece, it complements the smoothness of the CCBS armor shell that's just below it. Great idea. You could also do something a little bit more crazy with this piece, and make a wearable Bionicle mask with it. Galaxus ended up building this one here, and it looks awesome. So we can see this piece on the side just here, and then there's a few other similar Technic panel pieces that are used everywhere else. I think these kind of pieces work incredibly well for cosplay style builds. And you know, a lot of modern Technic sets, they include very similar Technic panel pieces. So hey, buy a Technic set or buy this Scorpio set, and maybe your next mock can be some wearable Lego. Now the other panel piece that's included here, you get a bunch of these cool curved panel pieces that we see on the left in this image. If we want to use these in a mock, we could do something similar to what Ozcabot has done on his Hammerhead Turbocraft. Now look, panel pieces like this, they're designed to be used on vehicles. So why not use them for more vehicles? It's kind of a no-brainer. And adding these on here like there's some kind of like front fins on this interesting speedercraft, it's a great look. It's a nice way to add some sort of stylish armoring that gives this vehicle sort of like sports car vibes. Now one more mock from Galaxus that uses these pieces is this Zamisphere Energy Turbine mock. Using them to create a very long column, it's simple but elegant. There's also a couple more that have been used down here on this base area. I mean, what a great idea, building like buildings and structures with Bionicle pieces. And if you have some of these panels, they're going to be a great help. Now on the base, we can see that some of these silver pistons are being worked into the design. And the set actually comes with 16 of these piston pieces. So if you want to use them on a mock, obviously you can do what Galaxus did like we just saw, or do what Loafbuilds has done here on his Big Grunt mock. Lots of these pistons have been used on the legs and the waist. And these pieces do a ton of work to help hold up the weight of the top part of this creation. Pistons will really help you out on big Titan-sized creations like this. It's going to help them to not fall over and stay in place. Or you could use them for some more like aesthetic purposes. Do what Ethan Westervelt has done here. See how he's used them for like jet engines coming out of the back, or maybe these are like exhaust ports or something. But they can also flip over and become turrets or cannons. Great idea and such a clever way to use this piece. Another play feature for this set are these stingers on the head. They have a rubber band attached to them which allows them to kind of bite together and pinch down on enemies. It's a really nice touch. And speaking of play features, the firepower on this bad boy is awesome. 2 Midax Sky Blasters and a Thornax launcher. It's so impressive and it's really fun to shoot these as well. I'm actually quite glad they decked this out with weapons. Yeah, the size of this is impressive, but you gotta have some weapons to complement that as well. And finally, the set comes with 12 ball joints. I didn't photograph all 12 of them, but it does. Trust me. Ball joints, in my eyes, they serve a pretty similar function to the axles and pins that we saw before. They are so helpful and a vital part of mock building. Cubic has an incredible mock here that he's made, and he was kind enough to showcase the frame that rests underneath all the armor of this magnificent build. So here's that frame. Let me highlight all of the ball joints that are on this design, and as you can see, tons of them. So getting 12 ball joints in this set? Baby, that's pretty nice. It's actually quite easy to chew through your whole collection of ball joints just on one mock. So anytime you can stock up on a few more, that's helpful. Now, let's see if anybody has revamped this set. And well, no one really has. It's kind of perfect as is, but you could do what Disty has done here. This is a kind of adorable little mini version of the set. And he even has some instructions available for this on Flickr. Go check the links in the description and you can check that out. Now look, if you don't have the shelf space for this set, or you don't want to cough up the hefty price tag and buy this is a more affordable and space-savvy way of owning this set. I quite like these tiny little treads that are used on the legs. These came on a set much like this Ninjago polybag set from the Ninjago movie. You get essentially some like smaller movable treads in this set, which are basically just like a mini version of what comes in this set, so it really was the perfect piece to use. Now, great idea as well to use these smaller pincer pieces at the front here. These came on Mantax, the Baraki, and they work wonders here at recreating those pincers. Yeah, making a micro-scale version of a larger Bionicle set, what a fun challenge. Maybe you could challenge yourself to build a smaller version of other Bionicle sets. Shrink them down a bit, could be a bit of fun. So that's that. That's a cute little revamp, and that's how you can use the pieces that come in this set. And baby, the Scorpio XV1, it's one of the coolest and most impressive Bionicle sets ever. I'm so glad I finally bought this after all those years. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Check the links below to see more of the builds from the people I featured today. See you guys later, happy building, and bye for now.